everybody, and welcome back to Spiritual Successor, a comedy video game design podcast where we take your horrible, nasty, cursed, vile, vitriolic, nasty video game ideas and turn them into the next AAA titles. I'm your host, AJ Hart.
And I am your other host, Blake Rhea. AJ, I'm terribly mad.
That's me. Why are you mad? Are you filled with gamer rage?
I am filled with legitimate gamer rage. So, as you and I know...
Yeah, gamer rage, Blake! Woo! You've been playing too much Call of Duty lately, huh?
Ugh, God, no. Don't
Overwatch?
No, not Overwatch.
Apex?
Not Overwatch. No, not Overwatch. Not Apex. I have been playing Doom
Varsity?
Eternal.
Nope, that's not what it's called. What's the new Riot Games one? Vimvo.
No.
Valorant. Thanks, Blake. I knew you would be able to make that hot video game poll because you're always just Valorant nose on the grindstone, finger on the pulse. You're always like, I know what the hottest video game is right now at this second. And I can always count on you for that. So what game have you been playing, if not Valorant, the hit video game by Riot Games?
You sound like a pitch machine right now. You know, this game, Valorant, by Riot Games. Play Riot Games' Valorant today. Available on PC, Steam, and Switch? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know what fucking consoles it's on. But I just recently beat Doom Eternal's Ancient Gods Part 2. And I gotta say,
That was the DLC where all the ad stuff was like, you're gonna be able to be in a giant robot, right?
No, they didn't show. They showed the giant fucking robot so much. Oh man, I just peaked everything. Oh my god, I'm sorry to your ears at home. Let me turn down my mic a little bit because I'm gonna yell some more. I'm getting a sense
that something went horribly awry with the giant, cool, super dope giant robot with the big lava sword.
Yes, as you know, I judge games by how much they make me perspirate. So, like, Doom Eternal is one of those games that makes me... Actually, we deleted that bit from a previous episode.
That whole bit was gone, Blake has a rating scale. If a video game makes him sweat a lot, it's a good video game.
Yeah. And Doom Eternal was one of those games for me. It's like, it's up there with Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, is like just one of my favorite shooters ever. And the reason I fucking love Doom Eternal is because it basically they told... all of the brutal fucking let's kill demons like combat and just really fun, and it's that lizard brain action for you. And they also started doing some lore stuff, which I really fucking love. But everybody loves Doom because it gets that lizard brain part of us of like, we are big scary person killing evil demons, and you don't have to feel bad about it. And and they in the base game, you have this base, and in the base, it has this giant fucking mech that looks like you. And you're just like, you are led to believe, oh man, I can't wait to fucking pilot this mech. I can't fucking wait to pilot this mech. Doom Eternal Ancient Gods comes around, you don't get to pilot the mech. And then Doom Eternal Ancient Gods Part 2, the mech is in the fucking trailer clocking a fucking city-sized demon. You're like, that's going to be me. That's going to be me in that mech. That's going to be me doing sweet fucking slow motion time. I don't care if it's a time event. I don't care if I'm like actively moving in the mech. You were like, watch that trailer. I'm like, God, dude, I can't fucking wait to just fucking siege a demon city of evil in this giant, cool, predator-looking mech. And I was so fucking hyped for it. AJ, I didn't get to pilot a mech. And I've never been so sad in my life. You don't get to pilot the mech.
Was it at least a cutscene?
No, I mean, well, okay. I'm going to try and say this without spoiling, because I do think Doom Eternal Ancient Gods 2, like, story is fucking awesome. But
sorry, could you hit me with that one more time, but drop 2 like you're the funny Peggle man? You
mean like that phone game with, like, Bjork?
Wow, yeah. You know what Peggle is. No, I'm saying that, like, you know the 2! Oh,
sorry.
So could you just hit...
Doom Eternal Ancient Gods Part 2! Is that good?
Thank you.
Yeah. So
it was a lot of work to get us there, but you know what? It was so worth it.
So Doom Eternal Part 2 ends with you sieging hell. And you're just like, all the armies of good are going up against all the armies of darkness, and it's just such a fucking epic moment. And as you're going through the level, you do get to see the mech like fighting a giant city-sized demon, and it's so fucking cool, and it's so awesome, and I love that game so much. But you
didn't get to pilot it.
I was
so what the fuck is the point? Bad game.
I was so fucking left out. I know. I was like,
if a video game has a giant robot and you aren't allowed to pilot it, then why are they doing video games at that
point?
My theory,
whatever. Here's my theory.
Idiot.
Here's my theory. I don't know if you knew this because not many people knew about this. Did you know that there's a mech piloting Wolfenstein game available on PS4?
Of course, I've played all the Wolfenstein games. You get to pilot a mech because the Wolfenstein creators have good brains, and they say, check this out. We have a giant robot dog in it. It's like, that's cool. Can I pilot it? And Wolfenstein developers are like, here you go, bud.
I know, it was the fucking mech scenes.
Or are you talking about the VR game?
Yeah, that there's a VR game that I have not seen any footage of. I have not read any reviews of it. I have no idea how good it is. I don't even know if it's good. I mean, it's a Wolfenstein game, and the new Wolfenstein games are really, really good. Like, I
well,
trust
let's not get ahead of ourselves. The new Wolfenstein game's stories are really good, kind of. The first one's really good.
You don't like
the
combat?
No, I don't like the combat. Are you kidding me?
You are fucking insane, because the combat
the Wolfenstein
to me
game
is
combat
so fucking
sucks.
Smooth.
Big balls.
Wait, what is so bad about it? Oh, it's not enough
mechs,
mechs,
just
huh?
feels bad.
I can agree with that.
I can agree with that. You're not in a mech the whole time. Yeah,
right.
You get it.
You know what? You're right. That's the thing that went wrong with New Colossus. You started the game in a sweet mech suit, and then you lost it. And that's kind of where the game
big problems I have with Wolfenstein.
Right?
Here's my two biggest problems with Wolfenstein 2 before we go on. One, has a weird relationship with the idolization and fetishization and just like hyper awareness of pregnancy in a way that makes me feel weirded out. And two, the final boss in it is the most boring, forgettable situation I've ever felt in a war game. Like, they were like, check it out. Here's a tough encounter. You've faced plenty of these. Fight two of these boring things that you've avoided fighting before. And I was like, fine. I guess I have to kill the two giant 10-foot robots.
See,
and then I beat it, and they were like, good job, idiot. That's the end of the game. And I was like, are you kidding me?
You know what's so weird is, like, I love those games and I love the combat and I think it's really fucking polished, and I'm just like all the little exosuit abilities you get are fucking great. I totally agree with you that the end bosses for both games are just like kind of basic.
See, the first final boss does rule, though, because the first final boss has a level of puzzle to it. You have to figure out what you're supposed to hit, how you're supposed to hit it, and then interact with the final boss in a cool arena that's constantly getting worse because there's big flamethrowers everywhere. The final boss in Wolfenstein 2 is 2 copies of an enemy that you fought 4 chapters ago. It isn't even like a unique asset or unique voice lines. It's just like, I don't know. We have these things were a dick and a half to face off against 4 hours ago, so 2 of them now. Have fun. And like, there was no thought there.
You might, yeah, you're right. It was, you know what was so weird about Wolfenstein New Colossus 2 for me? I got to do that whole podcast now. We got a through line here.
Thank you. It rules every time.
It was like, as soon as it was done, it just hit the cutscene. I'm like, oh, is that the end of the game? Was that
it doesn't even feel like a final boss. Like, you go into the next cutscene, like the next like selection of cutscenes thinking, all right, boss time. And then the game ends.
I'm in the camp that New Colossus 2 is so fucking like good and tight, and like I think the scene where he's in the room, minor spoilers, the game's been out for a while, and the cutscene has made its way around Facebook. The scene where he's in the ranch with you-know-who is like one of the most fucking well-written,
that shit owns.
Like, things I've ever fucking witnessed in video games. And it's just so good, and it's so refreshing to see that in like an FPS shooter, which always has been, for me, very, I mean, I think for everybody, riddled with just like, you're a badass guy doing fucking just shooting things up and like doing crazy shit. Don't get me wrong, there's a place for like things like that. Like, look at Doom. That's the whole concept, is you're just
but there's something about BJ being a character with feelings that just kind of owns bones.
Yeah, it's just like being a guy that is so fucking just has so much baggage and just is trying to do the best for himself and his family and the people that he loves, and is willing to be vulnerable and like have these tough conversations, like literally, and then 5 minutes later or 5 minutes prior just like killing fucking Nazis. Like, that's just such a amazing balance of shit, and I love the Wolfenstein games for that. It just like, does suck that there is not it sucks that no mechs, you know. I gotta, you know, going back to the beginning point,
there don't is get to pilot mechs in that, actually. You do get to pilot a cool robot mech.
Yeah, but then you lose it.
Yeah, but you get to pilot it in general, and that makes it a better game than Doom.
Is there any games where all you do is pilot a mech? I know there's Hawken, which is pretty
Core.
Fun.
What the fuck, dude? Come on.
Armored Core? Oh, that's right. That was a game, wasn't it? Also in like one of the Recon, like Ghost Recon games, didn't you do mechs? I don't know. I've always felt like mechs were like treated like the same way they are in Lost Planet.
The video game Mecha Assault. The video game Gundam. Like, yes, of course, there's a billion games where you just do robot shit.
I'm asking if there's anything of, like, new Wolfenstein, New Colossus 2
was your question really quick? Did I catch you there? Did you say, were they good? Yeah, Blake, you got to control robots. That's kind of the only metric that matters.
I don't know, man. I played Hawken for a solid weekend, had a great time, and then I never touched it again because I was like, I don't know where to go with this. It's just like being in a mech and looking cool is only good for so long. Actually, there is that one VR game where you can you are actually in a pilot seat inside of a mech, and it's like hyper realistic, like flight simulator level, where each dial does something, and I'm like, that shit sounds rad.
What?
It's fucking awesome. I remember seeing a Let's Play of it. Remind me to find it for you, but it's like hyper realistic mech fighting. And
yes, that sounds radical. I will get that information. But here's the thing, Blake. We're not here to talk about how bad of a video game Doom is and how much Armored Core 4 is a better game than it on just a lot of metrics, mainly the robot metric. We're here to talk about horrible, nasty, cursed video game ideas submitted to us by our audience.
Yes. Do you have a game? Do you started the transition. Do you have a game for us?
Of course I do. This comes from I Am Not Witty Enough for a Funny Name on Twitter at ARP1033, Baby Fight Club 2022. Now I hear a lot of you wondering, Baby Fight Club 2022, what could that be? Well, first of all, we know that it's got a year in it, which puts it in the Cyberpunk 2077 universe.
All right. So are you saying there are these augmented babies with just fucking cyberpunk blade prosthetics just duking it out in the future?
I'm imagining this game is a bit of a combination. If I were to create a Venn diagram for you, I'm in the elevator, I'm in the pitch room. This video game is Cyberpunk 2077 meets the fighting karate mini game of Sonic Adventure 2 with the chows.
Okay, real quick, I'm gonna go on a small tangent for everybody listening at home.
Is your tangent about Sonic Adventure 2 and the chows doing karate?
No. I'm gonna talk about your fucking obsession with Venn diagrams. At any time you get to toss one into a conversation, you will be like, hey, I know we're talking about this thing, but this is imagine this Venn diagram. At least once a week you mention Venn diagrams, and I was
Venn diagram is the ultimate form of showing things that overlap and also the things that are different. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's why it exists.
Name a better diagram.
That one, the rating chart, what's S rank, what's A rank. It's
that is also a good chart, but it is not as good as the Venn diagram. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
But wait, no, that is a good diagram because you're showing by having multiple characters in the same category.
But it doesn't show the similarities and the differences. Whatever the opposite fancy word for similarities is.
Having a different ranking implies differences. Is that what's better or good or
but it
worse
doesn't show similarities, does it, Blake?
Yeah, but we're smart human beings. We could be like,
I'd like to talk about installing a laser into a baby's eye.
Uh-huh.
So it could do karate better.
That's an S rank, I think. And then we could
That's an S rank idea. So did you ever play Sonic Adventure 2?
No, I have hardly played. Actually, no, okay, dumb question. Is Sonic 2 the one that introduced Knuckles, or is it Sonic and Knuckles is where he got introduced?
I'm not talking about even that generation of Sonic, bud. I'm talking about Sonic Adventure 2 for the GameCube, where Shadow the Hedgehog showed up, and he said, how's it going? I'm Shadow the Hedgehog.
Shadow the Hedgehog. I got a gun.
Nope, he didn't have a gun yet. Up. No guns yet.
He did. Okay, you're talking to somebody that doesn't know jack shit about Sonic. You're
really showing your ass in front of the internet about it. I'm amazed that you know so little about Sonic the Hedgehog.
The only two things I know about Sonic that I give a shit about is Knuckles the Echidna, who has fucking amazing drip, and my private thoughts about Rouge the Bat. I'm not...
Okay, yeah. Sonic Adventure 2.
I had to think about that before I said anything incriminating.
Sonic Adventure 2 had a fun mini game mechanic where you ran through levels and you would earn all sorts of little test tubes and animals. You could then take those little test tubes and animals into the Chow Gardens, which were gardens that had little baby chows. If you fed the little dudes some files and some animals, they would gain attributes of those animals, like fun cat ears or walrus tusks.
Oh, okay. This is very Bug Snacks to me, just like a little bit.
Well, it's not at all like Bug Snacks. It is cute like Bug Snacks, though. This was about like being able to bring in new elements. Actually, you're right, because you feed them things and then they transform.
Yeah, it's like, what are you talking about?
It's just a very different gameplay loop, because let's say you have a little chow and you feed it 4 walruses and a tiger, and now it's got like, cat ears, walrus tusks, and like a cool... It's got no legs anymore. It's got fins. And then you could take it and you could put it into a couple mini games. Unfortunately, the only 2 mini games I remember were races or karate.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying you want to do a thing where it's like you have this cyberpunk overworld where you collect prosthetics to then give to your kids that they can then take into mini games.
Yes.
I
want to propose a collect-a-thon Cyberpunk 2077 huge expansive world that kind of runs like dog shit. But if you find all the right collectibles, you can go back to your baby garden and upgrade the babies so that they can fight each other in cool karate action.
All right, picture this in the Boss Baby animation style. It has to be like that, so it's like kind of that weird Pixar soft looking thing. And then,
we need to remove the human element. Right, I agree with you.
Yeah, and then baby Keanu Reeves saying, "Wake the fuck up, samurai." Oh, no, wait, hold on. Let me do my best baby impression. Wake the fuck up, samurai.
Wait. Okay, hold on. If you're trying to do baby Keanu Reeves, it needs to be raspier and
AJ,
breathier.
That's the best way to sell something. Put fucking Keanu Reeves' face in it, and that
Wake
shit.
up, samurai. We got a city to bone.
And then he just fucking takes a hit of his pacifier.
I can't deal with the baby cybernetic vaping. I can't deal with that.
It's the future. It's a dystopia, AJ. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is safe anymore.
Oh, that rules. Anyway, yeah, you go out and you collect cool things and you download karate into your baby like the Matrix, and then they fight each other in little mini games.
You know, it's so funny when because download karate is a reference to the Matrix. Yeah. Like, it's so fucking funny to me that they got away with that. Because like if out of seeing it out of the movie, I'm like,
wait.
Yeah, what's up?
We almost fucked up big time. He didn't download karate. He downloaded kung fu.
Oh yeah, he's like, I know kung fu. Nah, download karate's funnier. And you download whatever ability it's represented by a pacifier.
You wouldn't steal a black belt. Downloading karate is stealing.
Wow, way to date us, dude.
Sorry, there was no setup there. It was just a very funny, intrusive thought.
No, but picture it like like in Prey, how you gain new abilities. You get that gun that you shoot into your eye. Picture that, but it's a pacifier. It's a pacifier. So like each pacifier has a different ability on it that you then give to your baby. They have that pacifier, and then they download kung fu into their brain, and then it's, I know kung fu. Just like very cute, adorable baby things. And then, okay, so what mini games are you thinking? Like, what are the mini games that can be done in a cyberpunk universe?
Racing, but it's an obstacle course now because it's like all cyberpunky and like there's cool platforms that raise or lower. Karate, but it's extra cool because they've all got cool cybernetic powers.
Okay,
I don't know. If you had a baby, what sort of contests would you put it in? Maybe like sumo wrestling? That'd be fun.
Well, they did say Fight Club, so there has to be some sort of fighting like competition. And then, of course, depending on like what prosthetics they have, dictates what abilities they have. But I want to build on your racing game a little bit. Stick with me. Cyberpunk strollers. Does that ring anything for you? Just like a little push stroller? And it's like they're not driving full cars. These are These are babies, AJ. Come on, you gotta be realistic here. So they have to have like they're doing a race, but in the park. Or they're doing a race, but it's oh my god, it's around like a fucking cyberpunk dystopian playground.
I want to make
like
it also clear
center.
that it is going to be all fashioned out like cyberpunk. The name still is Baby Fight Club 2022. Like, it is just like next year, but the flavor and all that is Cyberpunk 2077.
AJ, we've all been inside this past year. I could go out tomorrow. I can go out and see like a giant metropolitan cityscape with holograms outside my door. I don't know. I haven't been outside in a year.
Hold the phone.
What's up?
Baby Fight Club 2022 would be the origin story for Johnny Silverhand, wouldn't it? That timeline tracks, doesn't it? Because if he's going to be like 40-something in like 77.
Oh my god, you're right. So he's a baby. Let's say he's 2 years old in 2022. So 2077,
he's none years old. He's a baby.
He'd be 40. No, okay. Hold on. So he would be something like 45. I have no idea how old Johnny Silverhand is.
I don't know how old Keanu Reeves is, but I'm sure he could act as a 45-year-old.
Yeah, he's like 50 now. Keanu Reeves is only like 51, 52.
So this would be the Johnny Silverhand origin story.
Oh, he's 56 years old. Wow, man, that guy's in great shape for 56 years old. Good for him. Good for that man.
Blake, do you have a video game for me?
I do have a video game for you. Okay, this one comes to us on Twitter from AJ and I have been talking about this. So, at Dustin Your Eyes created a fan Twitter account for Spiritual Successor, and it's called No Context Spiritual Successor.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet.
Insanely, it's like oh, we got a little notification like, oh hey, this person liked your post. No Context Spiritual Successor. Oh, and they're just taking like a bunch of out of context stuff from previous episodes and they're just tweeting about it. And Dustin, thank you so much. That is like so insanely like cool and sweet and humbling, and we're so grateful. But that Twitter account just sent us a submission and I really want to use it. It's a post-apocalyptic fossil fighters type game where human skeletons are the fossils you discover. AJ, I'm picturing this as like something like a Jackbox minigame. So, at the beginning of the game, you are given a random collection of bones. That's the first phase of it, is putting those bones together to form some sort of skeletal shape. The second phase of it is you are given somebody else's fossil build. So, like, I build one, you get it. You build one, I get it.
I see where this is going. I get to draw the muscles and what it like actually would have looked like. Okay.
Yes. So it'll be like I drew some sort of like a just random skeletal thing and be like, oh, you had an idea for what the where the mouth would be, but I have it in a
skeletal thing
place.
Looks like the letter H, and then I sit down with it and I'm like, well, I don't know what the hell he was going for, so let me just go ahead and draw what I think the body was going to look like. And it kind of ends up looking like a giraffe body, and then it goes to one third person, and the third person gets to kind of like spore-like put on claws, teeth, mouth, things like that.
Yes. And then the final thing is, or the final turn is, it goes to somebody else, and they have to come up with a name for it, and that will be their fighter that they can then take into some sort of like. I don't know if it would be like what's that one game we just played with the Discord? It was the pro wrestling mini game on Jackbox. I don't think it would be like that.
I don't remember the name of it, but
yeah, I would love
Are you
this
thinking something like that, where it's public vote gets to decide on what the most like survival of the fittest, most Darwinian champion?
I would love for this to be an actual like pit fighter, that everybody gets control of it. So like whoever the person that names the monster is the one who gets to control them. So it's a constant battle of like trying to dick over everybody else, but also trying to make sure you get something that is usable.
So a horrible spore game.
Yes.
Where at the end of it, you all then control the spore monsters in a big battle royale.
Yes. And that oh my god.
Owns bones.
Oh
that
my
owns
god.
Bones.
So wait, hold on a second. So what is the player cap you're thinking on this? Is this like let's just go fucking big? There's 100 people in this game.
100 players, yeah.
So and that, oh my god. So it's like, hey, you have a minute to connect these bones. You have a minute to draw the muscles in the body. You have a minute to put weapons on this thing, and then you have like 30 seconds to name it. And then it's just very basic controls of like WASD is to move. You got like a small attack, and then you got a big attack or something. And those can be dictated by what weapons you put on it. So then, oh my god. So then it just get into a giant fucking ring with all these other like just weird abomination creatures. And you're trying to figure out what is the supreme monster. Like the
and in order to work out balance stuff, I think that the way it would also work is like in order to make sure that we don't run into a situation where everybody just gives each other like herbivore teeth and like no claws, right? The more action points or like weapons that you give one monster that is then handed to another player, the faster your cooldowns on your abilities will be when you take over a monster, right? So if I give your monster 18 rows of claws, then my cooldowns for whatever monster I get will be faster. You see what I mean?
Oh, so it'd be like however, but by putting yourself, like say if you were to go up against that monster in the actual game,
that monster has 18 rows of teeth, which could be a big problem for me. But again, luckily I have good cooldowns because I was generous to whoever was going to get my abomination.
You basically, however many attack points you put lowers like the percentage of, like they have 22 attack. Guess what? Your cooldown goes by 22%. So it's it's just like that very easy number. I want to put one more stank on it because I think it'd be just really fun. So during the turn that people put the like claws and stuff on, that's its own phase. One phase is dedicated to offensive abilities, and then it gets sent to another person who picks one like negative effect thing about it. So you have this character, like building on what you're saying, this character put on 18 rows of teeth. That's going to affect, like, that'll give them all those like static those buffs during the game. That same rows of teeth monster goes to somebody else. Like, okay, they have a bunch of rows of teeth, but they have like little blowers that are constantly pushing them in different directions. So controlling this monster and getting in close, you kind of have to wiggle it. So it's like, and you don't get, and the person who picks the negative buff doesn't necessarily take any negatives to themselves. So it's just like, it goes to one more person who solely picks the negative aspect to contrast what the previous person chose as a positive. You know what I'm saying?
The spore, there's so much room to like explore the spore style of game that really wasn't explored nearly enough, huh?
Why do you think it wasn't? Well, actually, I think the reason is because
they were... Who the fuck do I look like? Jason Schreier? I don't know, dude. Find a games journalist. Shit.
Bro, you've designed 91 games. You're going for 92, man. You've designed a game a week.
You're right. I guess in the grand scheme of things, as far as like games with stupid fucking ideas, you did come to an expert. I'm willing to take that title.
You are an expert on what if games, AJ. Like, you have put in... Didn't you and I do the math of like how it like isn't it something like X amount of hours equates to being a professional? If like you put
some old white guy said that you have to do 10,000 hours of something to be a professional, and thanks to the wonder of podcasts and multiple people listening to our shit, we're able to speed run that number.
Speed running professional. I bet that old white guy would not like that. But so I think that would be a fun game. So what is like the actual combat look like? Is it just
it's like you run around with spore. It's really simple, but then like for every like item that you have, you get one more button on your keyboard so that it can activate that ability. So some people might end up having like 3 buttons to hit, and some people might end up loading in and their whole goddamn HUD looks like Final Fantasy 14 and they've got 14 things that they can all hit.
Is there going to be a system where you are given prompts prior to the game? So it'll be like, hey, we can call this like we can call it Ultimate Weird or Ultimate Monster or something like that. At the beginning of the game,
has
you're given a
Darwinian
prompt
in it somewhere, or Darwin. Like, there's no way that this doesn't.
Ooh, Darwin's finest. So basically, what I'm thinking is at the beginning,
Darwin's fever dream, more like.
So basically, at the beginning of the game, are you given some sort of prompt?
Dark twisted fantasy.
Darwin's darkness. So basically, are you given like, hey, this game is going to be about the ultimate water monster, the ultimate desert monster, the ultimate
like you're given
monster.
A hint right at the beginning? No, I think that we go with like a whole like battle royale, like giant map, and it's just going to kind of be random, right? Like, it's possible that you could be given a really, really good monster, but it has no fins, and the circle ends up closing down Fortnite style on a lake, and that's going to be rough for you. Luck of the draw, kid.
I think that should be one of the game modes, because I feel like there's a lot of potential in doing like hyper specific things. It'll be like, hey, the world you're going to is pure water. The area you're going to is pure aerial. And then you could do another game mode where it's like it's every biome possible. So you can have fish monsters, you can have aerial monsters, you can have ground level monsters. So I'm just trying to figure out like if it doing that hyper specificity could be very fun. And you know what? I wonder what like the end game could be. So like you win, what happens? Does that monster then you can take that monster to another round of it where it's like you're trying to like climb the ranks with this one monster?
One round and done.
Okay. Is there a way that we can cash in
Although, hold on, wait. The idea of keeping your monster actually is very fun and cool, actually, because what we would then end up creating is a game that, like, very quickly sort of, like, sorts its own meta out, if you know what I mean? Like, because, like, there will be one monster that just simply is better, and we will find that out very quickly because it will be able to go up against every other monster.
So I'm wondering if like how would you build a game? Because like one of the things that always really I find fascinating is like in battle royales or sort of like games like Hunt is like what is like the level to level thing. And as far as I know, like some people do it, it's like you get XP, and that XP is gained over the course of many games.
Yeah, you want to know what the long con is. What is the long term like, reward for playing this game?
Do you unlock new like maybe like you unlock certain like new abilities or something like that you get then place in a slot on your monster? So it'll be like as you're naming the monster, you can look at it and be like, oh, what mods do I have that would go well with this randomly generated monster that was given to me? Not randomly generated, but like character
Yeah, they kind of work like masteries in League of Legends, where like there's an easy onboarding to the game, but you have to play it for a lot of hours before you're allowed to play like the late game shit.
But you know, and maybe in a way it might be best to not overcomplicate it.
I think it'd be best to not overcomplicate it. I want it to be a game where people can hop in, get given a horrible monster, and then play that horrible monster. See what happens. If they win, they get to take it into the next game. And if they get to do that, they just get to be like hot shit like that. They can post it up on Instagram saying, "Look what I did."
Oh,
check this
that'd
out
be fun.
For people that actually watch my Instagram story. I got a nasty Darwinian monster to the next round.
Oh, that'd be cool. So if you, as soon as you're done creating your monster or naming your monster while the loading screen is happening into the game, you can export it. And what it does is it shows you a 360, like the monster is on that little disc and it's just like slowly rotating. So you can
you can 3D print it.
Yeah, you could. That was the thing I was thinking. It'd be like, how cool would it be to where you could? Because that's what Jackbox did with like the fucking TKO thing, and that's absolutely genius. The fact that they would be like, hey, you know those funny shirts that gave you just so much comedy and joy? You can get those T-shirts printed and sent to you. I don't think I've seen that for 3D modeling yet. I make this cool fucking narwhal with a flamethrower on its face and sweet butterfly wings. I'm gonna want to 3D print that, and then I can have it be like, oh, man. And you know what's cool, too?
Check this out. You'll never believe this thing that I got from this video game. Welcome to my pad. You see that little tiny 3-inch statue over there of a giraffe with teeth? Yeah, buddy. I won a game with that. You impressed now?
That would be... That's the thing, man, I was going to call you Trevor. I have this weird thing where I call AJ my brother's name, and I call my brother AJ's name for just...
Which makes sense, because you've definitely podcasted with both of us.
I don't know.
He hasn't.
Okay. Either way. That's how you get the 3D print. When you win, you can 3D print your animal. You can't 3D print it otherwise. So it becomes a physical trophy of your win. So like winner 3D model. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like it. I got another video game idea for you.
Yeah, hit me, brother.
This comes from Hatchet on Twitter, @AllDeesHatchets, a game where you accidentally time traveled to either the past or the future. The catch is that wherever you go, they know about time travelers and they kill them on sight. You have to blend in while you figure out how to get back to your time.
I want to ask you a quick question. Are you as terrified, like, as time travel... hopefully or maybe will become a thing in the future. Are you terrified of being teleported into the past and not knowing how to do fucking anything?
No, dude.
Like
I'm not worried about going back to the past, because if I go back to the past, I just have to be an absolute piece of shit and I'll be fine. Look at me. No matter where in history I go, I'll be okay. What I am terrified more about is the idea that there's always this idea of like, history will try to correct itself and like time has a way of sorting itself out. I'm horrified about the concept that like I've never met a time traveler. But is it possible that the way
you don't know that you could have met a time traveler?
That's true. I've never consciously met a time traveler.
Yeah.
But is it possible that the way that the world sorts itself out and corrects the timeline is that maybe perhaps in all of our bodies, there's a piece of us that if we felt a time traveler around, we would just become crazy. Like some absolute like murder psycho, knife hatchet, wild and shit, right? Like we have that part in our body that like doesn't do anything and could just kind of explode one day inside of us and hurt us real bad.
Well, no, AJ, we haven't unlocked that ability yet. It's you mean your appendix?
Thank you. The appendix. Perhaps the appendix's purpose is to sense time travelers. And if AJ, we were to be in the vicinity of a time traveler, our appendix would trigger something in our brain that says, kill.
No. It doesn't work that way. We need to evolve. You gotta inject iodine. No.
We're not going on that factor. What I'm proposing is the idea that there is a use for the appendix other than the possible forced evolution, which we don't. What are those things called? Axolotls? If somebody were to go back in time, everyone around them would know and go into a fugue state and try to correct the timeline.
Okay, but I think that immediately becomes a
if I met a time traveler, I think I would try to kill them. Think about it. Hold on. Think about it, Blake. If someone went back in time and they're messing with something, would you trust them?
If they have the ability to time travel.
If somebody is time traveling and they're in front of you and they're saying, yeah, I'm a time traveler, and I have all the power of time travel, and I did not choose to go back and kill baby Hitler, and instead I'm sitting here in front of you, Blake Rea, would you trust them? They have all this infinite power in the world and they've chosen not to do that one thing?
They're traveling back in time to get the PS5 before it sells out. They have access to the most powerful ability in the world, and they're like, nah, man, I gotta get that PS5, but I can't wait for the restock.
Killed. They're getting attacked.
So, okay. I'm trying to figure out what the gameplay loop is, because what you're suggesting, just to so I understand it, everybody has this Grok style ability where they just like see somebody or talk to somebody and they instantly know like, oh, you're not from this time.
Or if they figure out they need to kill them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that if you time travel and if anybody finds out you're a time traveler, then they will assume the worst of you and try to get you.
See, but you have the setup there, but I think it's just too easy. There has to be something like they can only tell when they touch you. They can only tell when they hear your voice. They can only tell when your eyes meet or something. I'm trying to figure out like there has to be some gameplay loop there. Like if it's a game where they can only tell when they when they touch you, or like they make skin-to-skin contact or something, then that's a game about not being touched. Or if it's eye-to-eye contact, it's a game about awkward eye contact, awkward like social interactions. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to figure out like, okay, we have our conflict, not our conflict, but we have our stakes of like they want to kill you because they want to correct it.
We have the stakes. What's the game though?
Is this a sneaking game? Is this honestly, it could also just be like God, what is it called? There's this game out there where you are a bunch of little aliens operating this guy's face, and you have to like move. Each button is a different part of this robot guy's face. And
what you're doing? We've all seen I'm Kevin.
I Am Kevin?
Is that the name of the movie? Hold on, that's going to be a good pull for the two people that know it.
That's like early 2000s, right? That's like the robot guy with all the tiny.
Did I hit it? Did I hit the mark?
Oh my! Wait, hold on. Let me fucking search this up.
Nope, it's I Am Dave. Damn it! Oh, I'm so bad at
dude. Don't worry about it. Dave, Kevin, those are simple white guy names, dude. Why can't I be funny
for once in my life? God, just once.
Imagine your whole career was decided by that one joke. Like, oh nope, mistook that guy's name. You're done. Out of here. Okay, so is this? Could we play that route where it is you are trying to avoid? Are you put in like kind of trying to combine what you and I were talking about. The main worry I have is if I were to time travel back into the past.
I Am Dave isn't the name of the movie I'm looking for either.
What?
What's the movie? It's got the funny guy in it, and he's like, I'm a homan, and he's being piloted by like a whole spaceship of like 12 dudes inside of his little robot brain.
I don't know, man, but I don't want to waste any more time on it. It's just like, it's in the ether now. It just exists. But yes, that. Are you doing a thing where you are time traveling into the past and you're trying to do situations of the day and trying not to let them find out? Like, hey, you're teleported to 1920s where there's like 8 people that have phones and you're one of them, and you have to figure out how a fucking phone works and people are watching you. Then you have to talk to the operator and answer questions. But it's also like this, like co-op. What's that one jogging game where it's just
what if instead of it being co-op style, hear me out, what if it's like a VR game where we subject our players to using technology that they probably haven't used or touched in years? Like, I run my mouth a lot on this show, but if you were to put me in front of like a Sega Genesis or some shit, I would look at it and like a caveman would. I'd be like,
yeah, but you're
somewhere here there's a power button, and they'd be like, go ahead, plug it into the TV, idiot. And I'm like, does it have the little 3 multicolored cords, or is there something even older than that shit?
I think I like what you're going. I think it needs to be more complicated than that. So
I don't know if I could use an old school rotary phone, if I'm being honest. Like, there's probably some key component to it that I don't know about.
No, you just put your finger in the hole with the number, and
you're
then you
right.
just drag it.
That's exactly what I think. But what if there's something before that? What if there's a switch on the back that I don't know about?
I feel like the modern person can go back to like 1950s technology. And
you say that, but if I went to an 8-year-old kid and gave them a VHS tape, that kid's brain would explode.
Bro, Stranger Things is a thing that everybody has watched. Everybody knows what a VHS tape is and knows how to operate it.
Okay. What if I gave them one of those old school camcorder things that have a tiny VHS inside of a bigger VHS inside of a camcorder camera? Okay, now you're onto something
here. So, like, are you... Okay, hold on. You're onto something here. Time traveling repairman. So you are time traveling... No. Stick with me.
Yes,
so basically,
I'm with you.
You are sent back in time either because of your own mistake or somebody sending you back there. You have to repair things in that time period, and it is excruciatingly detailed.
Yes.
So be like, hey, this phone is here, and you need to put it back together. You need to figure out how the electronics go. And there is this little meter of like, every time you make a mistake, your believability goes down. And they're like, I like how in this game, it's like, this person doesn't know how to repair a telephone. It doesn't mean that they're an imposter repairman. It means they're a fucking time traveler and must be killed.
It's because their appendix is acting up.
But there's a strange... where is your appendix? I've always thought it was like near your side, like near your hip.
I don't know. It's apparently located somewhere pretty important if it bursting can kill you.
God, that would be so weird. Like, imagine you're just talking to somebody
and your appendix burst and you died. Dude, don't even get me started. It stresses me out. Like, come on, please.
I think it'd be more unsettling if it started vibrating and it'd be like a fucking telephone that you're getting a call when it's on vibrate, so it just pulsates. And just be like, what the fuck is happening? I would be so scared.
I'd feel like that dude from the Joker. Or not the Joker, Batman Dark Knight.
And you're just like, and it only happens when you're like looking at this person in the eye. So it's really easy to put 2 and 2 together that this person you're interacting with is giving you this weird vibrating sensation.
Yeah, you have like a gauge at the bottom, and every time you mess up, that gauge fills up a little bit. If you mess up too many times, that person attacks you and kills you like the nasty time traveler you are.
Like basically it's we call it bad vibrations.
That's a good name.
And basically it just, as like their appendix just vibrates more and more, the meter as the meter goes up. And if it is vibrating too much, they got to make it stop.
Like, and I love the idea that you're from like the distant future, time traveling back to repair all these
2077.
Things. It kind of reminds me, of like how in Cowboy Bebop, there's a whole plot line around the fact that like somebody has a VHS and they're like, I don't know how the fuck to play this thing.
Yeah. Oh god, that episode's like so touching though.
It's a good episode. It's a good show.
Oh yeah, it's a great show. I think that episode was so good because it was like this road trip sort of episode of being like, oh, this guy doesn't know, let's go talk to this guy. That guy doesn't know, let's go talk to this guy.
It was
fun.
Then
when we finally find out what's on it, I'm like, oh, that's like, oh man, this episode's good.
And also very good. Man, Cowboy Bebop is so good. Everybody go watch Cowboy Bebop. Blake, give me another video game.
Well, I gave
one
you
more,
that.
and then it's
Did I? Oh no!
And then we got to pick a nug.
All right, cool. I'll give you a lightning round one. How about that?
Yeah, give me a fastball.
All right, this one comes to us on Twitter from Darius Melton at Darius the Writer. A skateboarding game where you skate what you hunt. So what I'm thinking is this is a hunting game, but the moment you like catch that item, like say you catch a deer, then it becomes some sort of skating game. And I don't know if you've ever played the game. Have you ever heard of Everything?
No.
So it's a game where you basically can just it's like the foundation of the universe, like after the Big Bang, and everything in this universe is pilotable. Like you can be a blade of grass that can move in the wind, you can be a deer, you can be a fish, you can be a bird, but the thing is that all of their movement mechanics look like they're just dice rolling, and it's just like a stop, like deer legs don't move, they just go onto their face. Now they're on their back. Now they're on their butt. Now they're on their legs.
Everything's like soft-bodied and wiggling and rolling all over the place.
No, it's all, that's the funny thing is that it's all rigid. So it's just like, they just, imagine like a cube just going to another one of its faces. And then that's how it rolls.
But with a people.
But it's people. So
I hate that visual image.
So I'm wondering.
I will not be playing this video game.
But I don't want to take the movement mechanics from that. I want to take the concept of like every animal you see is rideable as if they were a skateboard. And
what I'm really interested in is the visual of a big game hunter skateboarder, right? Somebody dressed up in camouflage in an orange vest and a funny like hunting hat. Yeah. But also they have a skateboard. Is that anything?
I don't want it to be like where they kill the animal. I think it's like it's a net gun or something, because I think the concept of, like, I don't know, like I have some issues with like just the sport of hunting animals and killing them for sport. I think that's dumb, and I think that's not cool. But
so what if we did a fun game where like the whole idea was that your character can shoot a net gun on an animal, and then once it's in the net gun, they can hop on the back of it and ride it like a cool skateboard. But every animal has different little abilities to help them get to new places. It's a little bit like Mario. You know how in Mario Odyssey you have to like, there'll be a little puzzle where you're like, maybe I should be a Goomba, and if I take control of the Goomba, I can go into this little low area. What if that, but instead of a Goomba, you were a hunter on a skateboard that hit something with your cool net, hopped on the little lizard, and then used a tiny lizard as your skateboard so you could get into a tiny area?
You know what's this just feels so much. This feels like some like game on the Wii that did not get that was not flagged at like the quality control. Like, you know, like there was a bunch of games on the Wii that did that. But what I'm thinking is like you have two things. One, having this just like all of your skating is controlled by like the tilting of a Wii remote. I think it's just very funny. But
yes,
also,
I love that.
The story is you are some hunter trying to get to the X Games of this world. But
Might I propose to you this?
Okay. Yeah, what's up?
What if this game is on Switch? That way you can have one controller that is used for your skateboard movement, you know, forward, back, left, right. And then your right stick is used to aim your gun.
Are you trying to shoot other skateboarders?
Well, you're going to be on your skateboard when you're trying to shoot other animals so you could capture them and use them.
Oh my god, that sounds so difficult, because it'll be like the smaller the animal, like the hard, because you're constantly on a moving target thing.
Yeah, so you're on a moving target. You're on a moving object. The enemy's on a moving object.
Okay. So
it'll be like the most difficult levels of Link's crossbow training for the Wii.
Don't know what that is, but
it was everyone's favorite Legend of Zelda game, I'm sure.
So what I'm thinking is like, okay, so we do that, so it's kind of like a combination of doing all your skateboarding and then also like using your gun to capture better boards for yourself. One, there needs to be a rival. Like, I'm talking Gary levels of rivals who has has his iconic board, which is like, let's say, it's just a bald eagle. I mean, no, what's the most pompous? It's a peacock. He's right. He skateboards a peacock, and he's all about fashion. He's all about like, man, I look so much better than
it's
you.
A good
on
ride.
My board.
The versatility of a peacock really is unmatched. It's flashy. It's big. It's small. It's fast. It can glide a little bit. It's got a weapon on the front of it. A lot of versatility.
It's got a sweet honk sound effect.
Yeah,
but
it's a respectable animal.
So I'm thinking that would just be a great contrast to our main character. Like, let's say it's just some hunter girl who's just wants to make it big in the
skateboarding and in hunting, both of them at the same time.
Yeah, the Forest X Games, I think or something like that. And then you're just constantly being belittled by this fucking peacock riding asshole who's just like, I'm so much more. And every scene he's in, I'm talking every scene, he's always in a new outfit. And he's just always just like such a fucking asshole to you.
Oh, but he's so fashionable is the problem.
Yeah, I know. It's an asshole that you love. That kind of vibe. Because everybody hates Gary, but everybody also kind of loves Gary because he's just like, who is this weird dude hanging out with his sister's friends?
We all hate Gary. We all hate Gary. We all hate Gary.
So
not everybody out here is a Gary sympathizer like you.
All right, I was a lightning round game. You got a lightning round game?
I don't. We need to pick a nug and get out of here. It's almost time.
What are you thinking? Because I'm kind of leaning towards our monster building game.
The monster building game is very good. Although I do like the idea of forcing you to create art for babies with tech upgrades.
Well, okay, that would be fun, but I kind of judge like our nugs by being like, okay, what did we spend the majority of the episode talking about? And like, what were we most like pumped for? And I
judge them based on what makes me laugh the hardest. And man, Baby Fight Club 2021 is or 2022 is very good.
All right, let's go with that. What are we gonna call it? Is it just like
it's Baby Fight Club 2022? The work's done for us.
Just take a still from Cyberpunk and use that as
Although there is more game to our Darwin Nightmarescape game. I will admit that.
I mean, we kind of have the game figured out. It's just you design your baby and you give them abilities and they do good in mini games. I think the concept is there, but like, yeah, I guess you're right. Like, we did come up with like an actual gameplay loop for our Darwin fighting game.
Yeah, let's workshop a couple names for our Darwin fighting game. Of course, there is.
I think Darwin's Darkness was pretty good. Or what's the one that you said? Darwin's fantasy. No, it wasn't Darwin's Fantasy Builder. I don't know.
Might I suggest Darwinian?
Darwinian. Okay, I dig that. Interesting. A little classy. I can dig that. Darwinian. All right, let's go with it.
There it is, Darwinian.
Hell yeah, dude. Good
I'm
job.
ready to go to patch notes. Are you?
I am very much ready to go to patch notes. Anything we want to talk about? I know one thing I would like to recommend this week is to check out some links towards what was it? It was the thing I shared on Twitter. Because there's a lot of Asian violence going on right now.
Oh, stop Asian hate! That's right.
Yes, I think that would be super good to talk about because it's something that's going on. There's a lot of conversation about it right now. I think that would be good.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Do you want to spearhead that? Because like I really don't know how to handle a discussion about that. Like, because like I know that like racism towards Asian communities is so different than racism towards like Black communities, and it's because they're seen as so different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh fuck. Oh fuck.
Oh, I know what you're looking at. Hold that, table that. We'll talk about it in a little bit.
Okay.
As for this conversation, would you like me to spearhead it or would you like to spearhead it?
Oh, man. Wow. I'm sorry. I just felt like I got gut punched.
I know exactly what you're worrying about. I know exactly what you're looking at.
Let me compartmentalize that. I'll worry about that in 5 minutes. The thing that we want to talk about is the
Stop Asian Hate.
Anti-Asian Violence Resources.
Okay.
Stop Asian Hate. If it's okay with you, I would love to lean in. I would love to open with that.
Yep, you take it.
How about this? I give the opening, you give the link.
Okay. What is the name of it again?
Anti-Asian Violence Resources.card. Let me just send it to you. I know you shared it on Twitter. So actually, I think it's this one.
Where is it coming? Okay.
Sent it to you on Discord. Sorry.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. All right, go ahead and hit it, brother.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Patch Notes. Really quickly, we just want to talk about something kind of serious that's going on right now. There has been a lot of violence against Asian people right now due to recent events, and that's fucking abhorrent and awful and just absolutely shitty. So what AJ and I have done, we've prepared some links in our episode description below on how you can get informed, and there's some links that you can check out for giving support and just kind of understand what's going on. A thing happened earlier this week with just huge violence against Asian women, and it was really, really fucking awful and upsetting, and the people who were in charge of handling that handled it fucking garbagely, and I disdain it, and we just want to kind of use the little platform we have to kind of spread awareness and help people just help get this information to other people's ears. And AJ has some links prepared for you.
Yeah, one of the best ways to continue combating things like this is honestly to study it, learn it, catch ideas and problems that people have in their thought like this, and try to educate those around you. So in order to do that, you need to do some more digging and reading and research on your own. So again, like Blake said, we're going to have some links in the description down below. Please do a little bit of research. The primary link that we'll be sending is the Anti-Asian Violence Resources list. It's a really nice card. It's a really good starting point for you to read up on these things. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap the show up here today. As always, our intro and outro music is Cheap Shop by Anna Monoguchi, an excellent song from an excellent band for an excellent game. I've been your host, AJ Hart.
And I have been your other host, Blake Rea.
This has been Spiritual Successor, and these are cool games
that should not be made. Stay safe out there, fam.
Stay safe, everybody.